With over 75 games, some bundles, and a bunch of DLC, there's absolutely something for everyone in this Easter Spring sale, and I highly encourage everyone to check the chapters, as I'd recommend pretty much the first half of this entire video. And for the first time ever, the highly acclaimed #1 contender for Game of the Year in 2025 has already arrived, delivering approximately 15 hours of campaign along with an endless combat mode for unlimited replayability. Arken Age features full physics combat while freely exploring densely filled environments, and it's currently 25% off. Almost 600 people have rated it 4.87 out of 5 stars, with 97% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That is truly exceptional. You are a biological alien weapon, built with full locomotion and the ability to jump, climb, and swim, allowing you to freely explore the terraformed fantasy world called the Biochasm. Smelt scrap metal and craft custom weaponry, as you'll need to put all your weaponry to the test in some epic, multi-stage custom VR boss fights. And just to speak to this awesomeness, everyone everywhere is saying that this game has now set the bar even higher for combat in VR, so I'm totally looking forward to playing this one right after finishing this video. Finally, you can now experience the full campaign of Hitman, World of Assassination on the PSVR2 by dropping 60% off the main flat screen game and then paying that PSVR2 upgrade fee of $10 American to experience the ultimate version of Hitman with the full freedom of dual wielding, feeling the PSVR sense and headset haptics inside that 4K HDR OLED awesomeness. From what I understand, all of the main campaign missions are in VR, and the weekly random events called Elusive Targets will be in VR as well, with some items and cosmetics, but I can't confirm exactly which or all of them if they work in VR. Shout out to iscreamsunday on Reddit for creating this awesome chart outlining what does work, such as the Ambrose Island DLC, along with 2 other maps that are featured in the Deluxe add-on pack that is currently 30% off right now. With that, you're getting the last 2 maps, New York and Haven Island, that are in VR, but everything else is not in VR except for those bonus suits, cosmetics, and items that will be in VR. There's also some more DLC on sale, but it's only for the flat screen version, so I'm not going to list any of them here, but encourage you to check it out if you love the Hitman. Anyone in the comments, please pipe in if I missed anything that is VR compatible, and I'll include that the next time that this goes on sale. Become the iconic Zula Hendrix, an ex-colonial marine originally featured in Dark Horse Comics.
There's no easy way to say this. I found exactly what I was looking for on Parole. Full-blown infestation.
As she makes her return in Alien Rogue Incursion, and it's currently 25% off. 1,400 people have already rated this 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. With her ever-present synth companion Davis-01 for guidance, Zula must infiltrate the infested Gemini Exoplanet Solutions research facility and survive the threat of the most cunning xenomorphs ever encountered, using stealth and serious firepower at her disposal. The authentic atmosphere and innovative VR gameplay features will have you get into the action with gameplay that uses your body as the input. Along with true-to-life motions like opening doors and picking up objects, you also have full-body in-game physical presence for holstering and loading weapons, accessing inventory, turning on lights, and much more. And you'll need all that confidence against these xenomorphs who behave just like their cinematic counterparts, actively hunting you throughout locations, crawling through ducts and tunnels, and jumping on and climbing objects within the world. Oh, that sounds truly awesome, and from what I understand, the game has received a few patches now that addressed a lot of the issues that were present at launch, so I do think this game is good to go. Don your gas mask, wield handmade weapons, and venture into the depths of this apocalyptic nightmare in Metro Awakening. And it's 30% off right now. Almost 1,900 people have rated this 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In the year 2028, the survivors of nuclear war cling to the existence in the buried subways of the Moscow Metro, which has become civilization's last refuge and tomb, where spirits haunt the living in this man-made purgatory. You are a doctor searching for your wife as you brave the crippling radiation, darkness, and deadly threats of the Metro. desperately trying to find the medication she needs. As your courage and sanity are pushed to the limit, you must learn to walk the line between life and death, the spiritual and the material world, and awaken the being you must become. I've only heard great things about this game, and I do know there was a major patch that fixed some lighting issues that were present at launch. Anyone in the comments that can speak to this, if you played it, loved it, or hate it, that would be awesome. Let us know whether or not there's anything we should expect any wonkiness, or if this game's good to go.
We can solve this problem once and for all.
They're trying to make a vaccine. You want to come? Good dog, buddy!
Arizona Sunshine 2 Deluxe Edition, the next-gen sequel to the fan-favorite VR Apocalypse, is currently 44% off right now. Over 2,500 people scored this 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with this Deluxe Edition, you do get the exclusive Undead Buddy skin as you're seeing here, as well as the exclusive Freddy Flesh Hand skin, and the exclusive Doggy Weapon Charm, which I don't think it does anything in the game. It could just be this decorative thing, but I gotta say, I did play the first one, beat it all the way through. I thought the game was good, but man, after seeing the trailers for Arizona Sunshine 2, this does look like the full next-gen title that I've been waiting for. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your 4-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, you know, another breed of dog, the Corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing. Now, if you want both Metro Awakening and Arizona Sunshine 2, the Standard Edition, you can get them bundled together at 30% off. And this bundle's rating is reflecting Metro Awakening score only. It's not incorporating Arizona Sunshine 2. That said, if you're like me and you had the PSVR 1 and you played the original, Arizona Sunshine Remake is currently 34% off right now. But if you already own the game from the PSVR 1 days, do be sure to pay that upgrade fee instead because it's much cheaper. That said, over 5,800 people have rated this 4.08 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PSVR 1, I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good, that's the best way to describe it. But the mechanics were not polished like Farpoint. I am hoping the actual mechanics, the gameplay, the controls are much better than what I remember on the PSVR 1, just saying. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend and I was kind of done with it after that. And of course, they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode, and I do believe that was already available on the PSVR 1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And then they are claiming to have taken the Arizona Sunshine 2 mutilation and gore system and bringing it into Arizona Sunshine Remake, so that's really cool. As well, I feel it's very important to mention that Arizona Sunshine, if you didn't know, the original game did receive Best VR Game of the Year by Upload VR in 2016, Best Virtual Reality Game of 2017 by Dutch Game Awards, and Best HTC Vive First-Person Shooter in 2016 by the Vive Awards. And I gotta say, I'm really surprised, being honest, after playing Farpoint again, and then jumping into Arizona Sunshine, that didn't win the award over this. And just to remind you again, if you do own the game on the PSVR 1, do pay that upgrade fee before buying this on sale at that sale price. And yet another must-have that took me completely by surprise. I highly recommend you get Propagation Paradise Hotel at 50% off. Over 1,100 people have rated this 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And from personal experience, I did just play the game and I played it all the way through. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to get through the whole thing, but every minute was so much fun. The entire atmosphere, the sound, the graphics, I was actually blown away as to how amazing this looked. That's awesome. Oh, wow. So okay. Bizarre. Oh, hey, oh, watch where you're pointing that shit. Oh, that looks so good. Wow. So use that grip and oh, that looks amazing. Oh, look at down the barrel. This really did feel like a next-gen game on the PSVR 2. The only negative about this, and it's not spoiling anything, is that the game actually felt too short. Again, only a handful of hours to get through the whole game, but nothing felt repetitive. Nothing felt like I was drudging through, you know, a challenge that didn't need to be there. Essentially, the story is you are trapped inside the Paradise Hotel where a strange illness has turned people into savage creatures. You play as Emily Diaz, and you're desperate to find your sister as you explore dark surroundings, gather resources, and survive terrifying encounters. And yes, I can say, from experience, there are a few moments in there I did not expect to get jump scared, so it was very cool. But at 50% off, hands down, you do want to grab this game for sure. Legendary Tales is a true next-generation dungeon-crawling action role-playing game, and it's 30% off right now. If you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, you can check out the full game for 2 full hours. Over 1,600 people have rated this 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Built from the ground up for VR, you can choose the adventure alone or explore the mysteries of the corrupted land with a group of friends. And in classic role-playing fashion, you get to choose how you want to take on the quest and what character you want to make. And everything that I'm showing you in this trailer here totally looks like it's utilizing the VR medium to its fullest. Absolutely awesome. This has the full-fledged physics-based fighting system. You'll have random number-generated items give you the opportunity to collect and try out an almost limitless number of weapons. And this has the full-fledged experience points with crafting system. As you're leveling up, you're upgrading your equipment and weapons. A complete attribute system and skill tree provide a whole set of skills and abilities to work your way through and build a character that reflects your personal playstyle. This is literally what I've been waiting for. The fact that I did not get this right away, I am waiting to play this with my wife, truly. So even though the game is really expensive to begin with, it does have so much content. You know, even though I've never played it before and I can't speak to it personally, everyone online that has spoken to it has only said amazing things.
Relics brings archaeology to No Man's Sky.
Set out on an epic science fiction adventure like no other in No Man's Sky, and it's 60% off. Almost 100,000 people have rated this 3.93 out of 5 stars, with 72% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 16% gave this 1 star. And it feels like just a month ago they released the Worlds Part 1 update, which completely transformed the entire game yet again. And then not too long after that, they released the other significant update called Worlds Part 2, making this game even bigger and better than ever before. Across the entire universe, they've added billions of new solar systems and trillions of new planets, introducing new biomes and terrains to the already awesome environment without changing what people already loved about the game. Speaking of which, the terrain is even more detailed and far more varied, including huge mountains with massive features. Gas giants have finally been included and are truly epic at 10 times larger than the biggest planet No Man's Sky has ever seen. It's truly sort of endgame stuff to explore, with huge storms raging across the surfaces. The new tech implemented now allows oceans to be several kilometers deep, with an all-new lighting system that makes them completely different, and the deeper that you explore, the darker it gets. Amazing. Every element of the lighting has been rewritten, with shadows showing more detail, light now flickers through the leaves, caves now feel dark and immersive, oceans now reflect the clouds and the stars to create these beautiful sunsets and night skies. And with all of these substantial upgrades to the game, there's also a ton of new gameplay, with a huge quest that ties together some of the strands that the developers have been building upon for years now. And with the latest free Relics update, players can now unearth the skeletal remains of alien creatures that inhabit these incredible worlds, excavate and collect all shapes and sizes, and reassemble them to build ever more outrageous skeletons to put on display in your bases turned museums. These remains vary hugely in rarity, and you can expect the rarest to be protected by a dangerous artifact creature, as they can easily be awoken from their aeon-long slumber. And to coincide with Relics, a tailor-made community expedition starts right now that challenges players to compete for the latest finds. This is the game that genuinely keeps on giving while setting the bar in the video game industry for how passionate developers can take their game from 9 years ago to something as stellar today. And that is just scratching the surface of what this offers. Again, this is the latest update. I haven't touched upon all of the major updates that have happened since the beginning of the game. If you've never played No Man's Sky and you've only watched or heard other people talk about this on the PSVR 2, you're going to be blown away. And if you're into sci-fi in any shape whatsoever, Star Trek, all that stuff, this is a dream come true. And if you have friends to play with, oh my, I think you can have up to 16 players play together on consoles and up to 32 players on PC. And with that latest crossplay support, they've been able to include everyone in this awesome experience. That said, in the past, I've always promoted people checking out these bargain bins or pawn shops to find a disc version for like 10 bucks. But what I didn't realize is that with that disc, you cannot game share, meaning that if you have two PSVR 2s like I just got, you will not be able to game share. That is, again, the major benefit of owning a digital library, is that you can game share with another family member in the same household if they have a second PS5.
Mayday pilot, enemy fighters are closing in. We need you vertical ASAP.
To Ultrawings pilot.
Ultrawings is back and better than ever with Ultrawings 2, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Over 700 people rated this 4.35 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And right away, what I absolutely love about this game is that you have the option to use the HOTAS, hands-on throttle and stick. But because I didn't use the move controllers, when you're trying to select things on screen, you would use your head to roll over that icon and then select. And I'm assuming I'll have to do the exact same thing here. It only makes sense. Whereas with the PSVR 2 Sense controllers, you will get those adaptive triggers, the Sense haptics, and the ability to hit the switches and fully interact in the cockpit. That said, that's how good having a HOTAS is. Just having that real tactile object to grab with your real hands and have that total precision, I feel has always beaten the virtual sensation there, but I could be wrong. I've never played this before. Ultrawings is back, and it's bigger than ever as you return to the skies in 6 all-new aircraft as you complete hundreds of missions across a beautifully stylized island-themed world. Their groundbreaking motion control system returns as you use your virtual hands to fully interact and control your aircraft. With enhanced haptics, you'll actually feel the action. You'll be unlocking new gameplay through this 40 to 60 hour game. 1 minute you'll be dogfighting enemy bogies in a World War II era warplane, and the next you'll be popping balloons with a dart pistol and the ultralight. Yeah, just throw me in the dogfight right away, because that's why I'm going to be getting this game. And I believe just like the first game, you're going to have all of these mini islands with a series of challenges going on. But this game claims to be 3 times larger than the original game, and I thought the original was awesome to begin with. And yet another surprise hit. Rainbow Reactor Fusion rewards your basketball skills in this extremely addictive color matching game. And it's 60% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. 91 people have rated this 4.6 out of 5 stars, with 92% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally understand why, because this game is completely polished and pick up and play awesomeness. I knew this was a remastered version, but I never played the original, so my expectations were kind of low, but wow. That looks realistic. It really does. I couldn't believe how good this looked in that massive factory setting, giving that awesome sense of scale. Truly, guys, this is instant pick up and play, where you're just thrown into this beautiful factory and you're supposed to clean it up essentially in between playing these basketball oriented color matching games. 1 rail on each side, the right and the left. A ball comes down and you have to grab it before it drops to the floor. You've got 3 misses. If a ball hits the ground, one of those misses happens. So that's how you lose essentially. Or if one of the balls goes out of bounds, and that can be from throwing it out of bounds, or if the court or the grid is essentially full of these balls all over the place and your ball bounces off one of them, that can go out of bounds there. So you are trying to keep that grid as clean as possible, getting as many combos as possible, but also setting up the colored combos. Again, super simple stuff. All these color matching games have been around forever, but not in the VR medium this way. Again, shooting basketballs into this area is so satisfying. I'm going to show you guys just in my headset. That is incredible. What I absolutely loved is they didn't spend too much time on this factory stuff, just enough to get you to walk around and, you know, feel like you're in a factory doing the jobs, but it's all about the basketball. And I say that literally, that's exactly what it feels like to me. And I have to say, I'm really proud of myself. I just recently beat the story mode, all 9 levels. And I gotta say, the challenge in this game has a perfect difficulty curve. And after you play that story mode, I started playing the arcade mode, and that has its own unique set of objectives and things to do. It's so neat, guys. And I do want to tell everybody, highly recommend that you play this like basketball. So when you're holding your controller over your head like this, and then you go to flick, and just like basketball, the more that you push off, the farther the ball will go. The less power you put in, the shorter distance, it just lobs forward. Feels so good. But the one thing I did find, I was turning my wrist on an angle here shooting, and it will shoot off to that side. I did find having my wrist this way, vertically forward, like naturally facing forward like you would hold the controller, was bang on. So yes, I do recommend right away just practicing forward like this, and you'll see how precise, how rewarding hitting those spots that you're trying to hit. Getting those combos, it's just exhilarating, honestly. So it feels like a mix match of like 3-point competition where these balls are just rolling towards you on the left and the right side on those racks. And then near the end of level 9, man, you're just like in this flow where you're just taking the ball and you're firing one after the other. It was insanely, incredibly hard, but so much fun. It actually took me many tries to get through that last level. I've been waiting forever to have a basketball game in VR that actually rewards my skills. With the PSVR2 room scale perfect tracking, I gotta say, the dream has come true, and this is a testament of how transformative sports titles will be in VR. No joke, this makes exercise fun again, and I highly recommend you get this game, especially at that awesome sale price. Tetris Effect Connected is the coolest version of the most iconic game, and it's 40% off right now. Over 6,600 people have rated it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, I grew up with the Tetris for sure. I do think this is the best version by far. Love the VR medium, love the effects, but it's the way that the actual game adapts to every rotation, every movement you do. It actually has that sound effect connect with you in game. It's like you're actually integrated into it. It's really hard to describe that to you, but unlike the PSVR 1 that I did play and I thought it was good, the particle effects were not that great on PSVR 1. In this game, everything shines so brilliant, so colorful, so vibrant, so smooth. And I have to hammer this in. All of you out there, like me, who are playing PSVR 2 and you gotta wait for your DualSense controllers to charge at like an hour, this is when you put in Tetris and use your DualSense controller and play that way. And before you know it, you've had a few games, all of a sudden your PSVR Sense controllers are charged. So for that alone, just having another PSVR 2 game to play while your controllers are charging, awesome. There's a journey mode, that campaign, that's what I'm doing. It just throws you into an area and then you start playing. It's really interesting. And the connected part, they have this online multiplayer mode with up to 4 other people or 3 other people at the same time. I have not played it before, but if it's anything like the original Game Boy, where you deplete one of your lines and it goes on to somebody else's screen, that sounds awesome to me. Again, I do highly recommend, if you have this on PSVR 1, just pay that upgrade fee instead of buying it again. Much cheaper, and it is totally worth it. From the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation VR 2, Rez Infinite is currently 50% off right now. Over 6,400 people have rated this 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And to speak to this from experience, I did try this on PSVR 1. I did not play this on PS2, 20 some years ago. However, I was really disappointed on PSVR 1, I gotta say. The first level, it was just like 2 or 3 enemies coming at me, and I was like, okay, I really did not get the addictive factor whatsoever and all the awards that it won. And then I rolled the dice, paid the upgrade path, and I'm so happy that I did, because the game is so much better than the PSVR 1 version. It really is. With the 4K HDR OLED display, this game literally shines. It is gorgeous. Honestly, so cool. Such a trip. And I can't believe this game existed like 20 years ago. Legit, as you're seeing it, but on flat screen. So really bizarre that this actually adapts very well to the VR medium. You can choose to take advantage of the eye tracking technology, where you're just looking and it locks onto the enemies this way. But I highly recommend just using your VR Sense controllers and aiming manually that way. And it was so much fun. So much fun. And unlike the PSVR 1 or the PS2 versions, this one includes an Area X mode. And another must-have bundle if you love the environmental puzzle games. This is Red Matter Collection, and it's 35% off. With over 1,400 people rating it 4.68 out of 5 stars, 94% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. As Agent Epsilon in Red Matter, you'll investigate a top-secret research project on Rhea, one of Saturn's moons. Decipher hidden messages and mechanisms using an array of high-tech tools in a surreal, high-detail, brutalist environment. But beware, the truth you uncover may be darker than you ever imagined. And I have to say, I did just play this again for the first time on the PSVR 2, and I fell like the entire game looked much better, and that could have been just because everything was sharp and clean at the 4K HDR OLED display here. But the room scale, me walking around freely, full 360, being able to interact with everything with no tracking issues whatsoever. The adaptive triggers, the controls, everything just felt way better. So yes, even though you might have played this on the PSVR 1 a long time ago, there is a free upgrade for Red Matter 1. I do highly recommend you put it in and play it for a couple more hours, play it all over, and then go play Red Matter 2. In Red Matter 2, you'll play as Sasha, an agent awakened in a lunar base by an undercover operative and tasked with uncovering the secrets of the mysterious Red Matter. Follow a trail left behind by someone from Sasha's past, and be prepared for mind-bending puzzles, stealth and platforming mechanics, and intense combat sections. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR 2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it, so I do have to manage expectations here. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game, and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless.
Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. And just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. You know, not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want, but even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away.
Relive the 80s in this fast-paced first-person arcade motorcycle shooter in Runner, and it's 25% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 50% off total. Almost 300 people have rated it 4.22 out of 5 stars, with 81% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. If you're into the arcade games, yes, you will love this. If you're not into the classic old school arcade shooters, no, I don't think this is going to do anything for you, as you are going through these stages and you're constantly just shooting enemies. Again, classic arcade action. And because this game has you on a bike, I had to take it to the next level. I ended up getting my workout bench, bringing it in the room, and then I was able to lay my chest forward like this with my hands leaning out, and I was able to actually feel like I was on a motorcycle. No vibration, nothing like that, but to be able to lean forward virtually. Amazing, honestly, it really did help with the immersion. The game does tout to have freeform 360-degree VR shooting, which is absolutely true, and you are controlling that bike. However, you are never going to crash your bike into the wall, but you are having to dodge all these vehicles or go underneath them in order to get these bonuses at the same time while shooting. So incredible. The gameplay itself is so crisp and so smooth, yet so basic, if that makes sense. It does look like old visuals, but super clean, so there's nothing muddy about it, and it totally works at the blistering speeds that you're going at. So, again, I'm all about the gameplay more than anything, and this totally nails it. And after beating the game, there are unlockable bikes, but they're not easy to get. You do have to do a specific thing within a specific stage. We'll get to that in my review when I do it. But don't worry, because as you're playing the game, you will get traditional power-ups that just hit the road after you kill an enemy, or a health power-up. It's just classic stuff. And then all of a sudden your guns change in your hand or actually on the motorcycle itself, going from, laser to machine guns. So awesome. The haptics, the adaptive triggers, the headset haptics, all there. And then you have this energy saber, which you're using to actually deflect incoming projectiles, and I gotta say, that is not easy to do. I had to do it in a specific stage, not getting to it. And then they do include this rush mode that you slow down time completely, and you're supposed to chain together all these combos to rank up your score there. But just again, speaking to this, as I'm playing the game, I never thought to put the game in rush mode, and all you do is grab both guns at the same time out of your holsters on the bike, and it goes into rush mode when you have the energy already accumulated to do so. And these 7 procedurally generated levels, they're actually quite long. It's not like a minute each. I felt like as I'm going through them, okay, are we done yet? My hands were getting exhausted sweating from firing so much. That's not a bad thing. There's a lot of content to the game for sure. And then you have these enormous boss fights at the end of the stages, which is amazing. Again, they did such a great job. I can't believe I paid $10 to play this game. That's what I'm getting at here, guys. Easily, hands down, the game is worth $20 full price. No problem there. And to think I had like 2 full days of playing this, and I mean full days. The last couple stages I had to do over and over. This is classic arcade stuff where you will have to get good at what you're doing. So that again was a welcome treat for me to experience something very challenging. What I didn't expect, because it's usually only included in like deluxe editions or any sort of extra edition, they come with this soundtrack synthesizer app that literally you just turn on, and it's old school 80s 90s. If you remember all those visual effects on a black screen, they look trippy as fuck basically, but hearing every little bass beat, every sound, it actually vibrates to your DualSense controller. Get this, did not expect it whatsoever. I know the DualSense has a speaker on the actual controller, that doesn't blow me away. In this app, you can feel the bass in the controller perfectly. And then all of a sudden I put the actual controller to my ear and I can hear the music inside the controller, not coming out of the actual speaker. I was like, it's as if I hear the party on the inside of the controller. So bizarre. So again, not expecting anything, paid $10 for the game, loved the game, and then afterwards I'm checking out the extra app that they include. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Old school 80s synthesizer. I end up spending an hour listening to all the music, just feeling them on my controller, totally tripping out of my mind. And then I check out this preamble app that also is included with the game, which is a visual novel. It's supposed to speak about the storyline in between your actual stages and what you're running from and what's going on. To be honest with you guys, I watched it for 45 minutes. There was a couple choices you can make, and then if you make the wrong choice, it's like game over, and then you had to start back over from the beginning of that chapter. It didn't pull me in, just being honest, so it wasn't worth it for me to go back and check it out. But some of you guys might be out there going, yeah, that's really cool. But the amount of content and replayability and awesomeness, that's just a complete package for $10. You do need to run out and get this immediately. Crossfire Sierra Squad is a hugely popular multiplayer first-person shooter campaign, and it's 35% off right now. Under 2,000 people have rated this 4.01 out of 5 stars, with 74% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 10% did give this 1 star. And I can speak to this really quick. The launch of the game did have a ton of bugs. Then a month or two later, they totally rectified everything. And then another month later, they actually add another massive patch that fixed all the introduction levels. After a few updates now of the game since launch, I can recommend it at that price. And unlike all the other first-person shooters that focus on the online competitive multiplayer, this is about the campaign co-op as well as the squad-based missions. So cool. And it does include 39 types of weapons, featuring pistols, rifles, throwable and throw-backable grenades and sniper rifles with revolutionary scope mechanics, giving you plenty of options to dispatch 17 types of enemies. And in classic arcade fashion, you'll engage with heavy artillery like helicopters and LAVs. The one thing I highly recommend, because I did play the game all the way through on the default, which was arcade, I did not like it. You need to play realism mode. I'm showing you right now when you buy the game, just change that to realism. And with that, you're going to actually take your enemies down with 1 or 2 bullets. That said, you will also go down in 1 or 2 hits. So it totally encourages you to take cover at all times, which I absolutely love playing in full room scale VR. Playing that way feels the way that I wanted the game to begin with. So I ended up playing it all the way through, unfortunately, arcade. Thankfully, letting you guys know, go the realism route right away. Highly recommend that. And then there are 50 squad missions for single player or 2-player co-op on top of the 13 campaign missions. And of course, they have this 4-player horde mode co-op, which I've never played before. So the replayability, the amount of content is absolutely there. So yeah, really cool that we have that option to play a first-person shooter campaign-based game. Our beloved hero Quill's epic adventure is now complete on the PS5 in Moss and Moss 2 bundle, and it's currently 20% off. However, there is another bundle called Moss and Moss Book 2 bundle that's showing an even lower price for the Greece, UK, and Australian websites. I have no idea why, but yeah, grab this one instead, I guess. Even though it says almost 10,000 people have rated this bundle, that's the actual rating for Moss, whereas Moss 2 scored even better, but with only 1,800 people scoring at 4.79 out of 5 stars. And again, just speaking to this, back in the day when VR was brand new, this was incredible. You being able to move around in that full, beautiful beautiful world and then manipulate objects to help her jump on and stuff was just so neat. Now what's interesting, unlike playing like a pixel ripped on PSVR 2 after playing on PSVR 1, I felt like Moss wasn't that much more enhanced than what I remembered on PSVR 1. But what I was really excited to do was walk around in room scale and have the angle that I wanted at any time to play, and it didn't work. I ended up playing the whole game through, and all the footage I captured was just too janky from a camera angle perspective that I had to keep going back and sitting down to play. So, but yeah, that's my rant. That's literally it. The game played just like it did on PSVR 1. If you're playing seated, everything works fine.
There's no turning back now. Or so the saying goes.
I do own this game, but haven't played it yet, so I can't speak to this from personal experience, but from what I'm hearing everywhere, the sequel does live up to the original and more. Quill is back and better than ever, but this time she's being hunted by those who seek to unmake this world and are desperate for the glass she holds, and they'll stop at nothing to claw it from her grasp. You must help Quill venture deep inside the Hex Castle of the Arcane, where dangerous terrain, challenging puzzles, and enemies twisted in fire and steel await. The journey will be trying, filled with triumph and heartbreak alike, but new allies, old friends, and the very nature of the castle itself can offer help along the way. Yet in the end, it is only you alone who can lift Quill up to save this world and together rise to legend. That said, if you're still unsure about getting the bundle and just want to get the first game, you can get Moss by itself at 35% off. Again, almost 10,000 people rated this from the PSVR 1 days, 4.54 out of 5 stars, with 88% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Get ready to feel a symphony of bullets as your body moves to the rhythm and you blast your way to the beat in this award-winning action rhythm game in Pistol Whip, and it's 40% off! That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, this game is already in your catalog, so do not buy this game. Over 2,200 people rated this 4.65 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can understand why, because this is instant pick up and play action where you simply shoot and hit your targets to the beat to get the highest score on the leaderboards, all while trying to survive as you progress forward, ducking, dodging, and weaving every deadly encounter. And if you get injured, simply wait to pistol whip an enemy whenever they appear in front of you to get the upper hand and gain some health to keep you in the game, hopefully until the end of that song. And what an incredible difference the PSVR 2 makes, as you can see all the bells and whistles right here. Then on top of this, they keep including all of this new DLC for free. There's so much content for this game, it's crazy. I'm recommending this game having not played it now for over a year. When I briefly touched it, and I was just playing around for 2 songs showing you a little bit of room scale. But, you know, again, loving it immediately. The last DLC that they came out with, I think is called Void Slayer. And again, what you're seeing on screen totally transforms the entire look of the game completely. And every other add-on they've had in the past does the same thing. So cool, so kick-ass. It claims to have endless ways to play where you tackle over 35 unique scenes. This is literally a dance floor fever dream where you fall into vivid fantasias, shimmering nightmares, and skylines that pulse with the beat, then blast your way back out. Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. 170 people rated it 4.43 out of 5 stars, with 87% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. See the world around you pulsate to the rhythm and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal, man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm gonna have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's normally 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapons, and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of old school songs that totally took me down memory lane here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, and if all of the content interests you, you can now get the complete edition at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. If there's anyone in the comments section that can speak to this game, if you own it, played it, loved it, hate it, whatever, please let us know whether or not we should grab this game at the sale price. I'm assuming so, man. It sounds amazing.
Stauf knows too much, but how?
Experience one of the best murder mystery video games ever created in the Seventh Guest VR, and it's 40% off. Over 700 people have rated this 4.69 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The classic game that chilled you to the bone in the 90s has been brought back with cutting-edge VR technology that delivers an atmospheric story like no other. As you explore the eerie mansion, the puzzles become increasingly challenging. Unlock new rooms and uncover hidden secrets, all while trying to keep your wits about you against the eerie horrors. The Seventh Guest VR is the ultimate adventure for fans of mystery puzzle games and those seeking a new and terrifying VR experience. I never played the game back in the 90s on the PC CD-ROM, but I am excited to let you know I was able to buy this last time it was on sale at this exact sale price, and can tell you right away, if you're into the environmental puzzle-based games where you're just thrown into the game and have to figure things out, then you will absolutely love this game. And unlike so many puzzle games I played before, this immediately felt completely unique and stumped me pretty hard right from the get-go, but not too challenging to keep me away. The theme, the music, sound effects, character development, and acting are superbly done here. Even though I feel the game is fantastic so far, I still need to finish it before I can give you my PlayStation Store rating. The only negative that I've experienced and stands out to me is that there is no option to decouple your head from your body, which means your head turns your body, and that isn't ideal for room scale VR. But don't get me wrong, this isn't game breaking at all for a game like this. I love how I'm thrown into this beautiful mansion with nothing but a lantern. And what's really cool is that when you use that lantern to illuminate an area, it actually shows you what that spot looked like in the past when those guests were actually there. So cool to see that everywhere, seriously. Again, even though I've only put in a couple of hours into this so far, the very first room with the very first puzzle was just awesome. Don't worry though, you can refer to your map for help, and you can also choose to get a hint as to how to solve the puzzle if it gets too frustrating. Thankfully, it doesn't happen automatically, as I do hate puzzle spoilers, and you do have the option to access that in your menu. So far, so great. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get, this is After the Fall Complete Edition, and it's 60% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 70% off total. With over 1,100 people rating this 3.95 out of 5 stars, 72% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. And all that Complete Edition is, it's the PSVR 1 game revamped with 3 DLC that was released for it.
Let's go.
That said, I did just play this expecting to play it for maybe half an hour, thinking this is a PSVR 1 game, it's going to be revamped, it's going to be okay, I'll get bored with it within half an hour. And no man, right when loading the game, you know, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR 1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, you know, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on.
That snow slush actually looks really good. It has depth, has transparency, and it has that three-dimensional effect to it. Like, it looks like frozen water that's just about to become a puddle of water.
And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s. And all that tech is still remaining there as you're exploring everything. Again, what I didn't expect is they throw you into the game and then I'm walking around and I realized, oh, wait a sec, I'm in a giant lobby of people. They're walking around with me in this like giant arcade. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. The game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earn to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. And again, I do have to admit, I see this game on sale all the time. This is the best price at 70% off. So knowing this game is really cheap pretty much on the regular, and I'm getting such a top-tiered experience here. But that free upgrade is only available to anyone that purchased this game before the launch of the PSVR 2. So if you do have the disc version on PS4, you can contact Vertigo directly, show them a proof of purchase, and they will honor it and give you that free digital upgrade. But yeah, unfortunately, anyone that did buy this after the launch of the PSVR 2, they will not honor it. It's only for those that did own this before the PSVR 2 launch, just as a heads up. But of course, the next game that needs to be in every PSVR 2 library, we're talking about Resident Evil 4, and it's 50% off right now. With over 92,000 people rating the game 4.75 out of 5 stars, 93% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And just speaking from experience again, I've never played this game before in the past whatsoever. This was my first experience in VR on the PSVR 2, and I gotta say, man, I was blown away. And what I mean by that is, unlike Resident Evil Village, this game does take that classic video game challenge formula and then reinvents it in VR with all these zombies running at me at full room scale. What I absolutely loved about this game is it is a testament to taking a traditional video game, literally with all of the challenges, and not compromising it whatsoever for the VR medium. If anything, only enhancing it, giving you more freedom to actually move and dual wield. Spinning your body around in full life-size room scale VR is just an experience you cannot get on the flat screen, literally. But before we get ahead of myself, I do have to let everybody know, when you go to buy this game, it does not have that VR mode initially locked into it. You do have to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil 4, go all the way down, you're going to see add-ons there, and then you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode. Click that, download it, install it, then jump into the game. And real quick, I do have to show you right now, in order to play this game in full room scale VR, you do have to go to the settings I'm showing you right here.
So when you hit your options button, go to options, VR controls, locomotion, controller. Pressing forward, looking around, I'm still able to move forward, guys. Still able to pull back and look around without him moving the body. When I press forward and move my body completely, look, he's turning around. It knows. It knows.
And of course, every time they put this game on sale, they do include some add-ons. And as I go through these extra DLCs, I'm going to speak to what is available in VR and what isn't. So in VR, you can use the Resident Evil Deluxe Weapon Sentinel 9. It's 25% off. Or you can purchase the Weapon Skull Shaker. It's 25% off. You can even use these accessories in VR, but you're not going to see them on your face. You might see them in a cinematic mode when they're showing Leon. It's 25% off. And the other one they're offering is a bunch of costumes. This one's called the Casual set for both Leon and Ashley. It's 25% off, and the next costumes available for Leon and Ashley is called Romantic, and it's 25% off. But the next DLC, it says specifically the actual filter is not available for VR. This one's called Costume and Filter Hero. It's 25% off. When it comes to the filter, that's a 2D flat screen experience. And what you're seeing here, this is an actual image of the before and after. So personally, when I'm seeing this, it looks really washed out. I'd rather just the original look altogether. And the other filter set that is not available in VR, this one's called Costume and Filter Villain. It's 25% off. Quickly showing you here, this is the actual filter, and I feel like it looks kind of red and orangey. It doesn't look as good as the original version, so I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not seeing it on my screen why anybody would want to do this, but unless I'm missing something, please let me know. However, the next DLC is available for you to use in VR, and it does sound like the coolest piece. All of you out there who have played Resident Evil back in the day, number 4, you will love this original version soundtrack swap. And it's 25% off, and right from the PlayStation Store description, it does say you can switch this up, pausing the menu and going into the extras menu. And of course, this can be used for the main game. However, it does not work for the Separate Ways DLC, which again is not in VR, so don't worry about that one. And the next DLC is available in VR. This is called the Treasure Map Expansion. It's 25% off, and quite simply, in the game, you do automatically have this treasure map, and this simply just gives you more items on that treasure map, if not a couple extra items that weren't in the actual base game. And the location of those additional treasures can be confirmed in the main game map area there. But get this, some of the actual treasures you obtain in the main game using this expansion pack can be used in the Separate Ways DLC. So it's right there in the description, Sony's official statement there. You can see it for yourself. And if all of that interests you, you can get the bundle. It's called the Resident Evil 4 Extra DLC Pack, and it's 25% off. And again, just showing the list of all the content that we just went over and just speaking to this. Again, not everything works in VR. It's giving you an actual bullet form here, what's compatible and what's not compatible. So it is really confusing, being honest with you. However, I do not recommend any of this extra stuff. Just get the base game, especially at this sale price. That's all you need. That's all I needed to play the game, loving it and playing it all the way through. And the last piece of DLC that is offered still for Resident Evil 4, this has to do with upgrading your weapons using tickets. The first offering they have are individual tickets. They're 25% off each, and you can see there's an A on this one, and they're labeled this way because you can only get 6 of them, and then after that you can't buy any more individual tickets. That's why they're labeled A, B, C, D, E, and F. However, they do offer a triple pack, and it's 25% off, again lettering them A, B, C, and D. And then they offer one 5-pack, and it's 25% off, and then there is a letter A there. However, again, that's the only one that they're offering. And just to speak to this, it is confirming that you can use this in the main game, of course, and the Separate Ways DLC. Again, that Separate Ways DLC is not in VR, so it's just speaking to all the things you can do with it. As well, you can download another free add-on called The Mercenaries, but it's not in VR. 448 people have rated this 4.34 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. And if you're a huge Resident Evil fan and love the flat screen and VR, you can save big and get the Resident Evil Remake Trilogy at 45% off. However, it's the Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition that is only VR compatible. That said, I still recommend just getting the Resident Evil 4 Standard Edition at 50% off, as that's all you need for the VR awesomeness. But of course, if you're unsure whether or not Resident Evil is for you, I highly recommend you get that gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now.
Shit!
And yet another absolute must-have for every PSVR2 owner, you can get the Resident Evil Gold Edition at 60% off. With almost 36,000 people rating this 4.68 out of 5 stars, 92% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. But unlike the Standard Edition, this Gold Edition at 60% off does include a whole plethora of extras that some of it does work in VR, and we're going to go over this really quick. In the Gold Edition, you are getting the Trauma Pack DLC, and with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 found footage filter, and that is not available in VR, as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safe Room Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm, that is in VR as well. And with this trauma pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm gonna have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important part of the gold edition that you're getting here is the Winters expansion. And there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4, where you're seeing yourself in third person. But man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenaries additional orders. And just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comments section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose. And this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby, that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR, like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams. Then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever, and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for all of you that are unsure whether or not the Resident Evil Village is for you, I highly recommend you do get the gameplay demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Let the music move as you catch notes, ride the rails, and dodge obstacles in Synth Riders, and it's 40% off. Over 1,400 people have rated this 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally understand why, because this is my favorite music-based rhythm game to date. And just to reiterate, that PSVR 2 upgrade is such an amazing difference. I do feel that this game needs to be in every PSVR 2 owner's library. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, this game is already a part of your catalog. Really quick, the game is super simple to play. You have 2 balls as your hands, 1 of each color. You have to connect that ball with the same color ball on screen. And then you have these tracks that you're just having the ball hit, and you follow that track. Super simple stuff. However, when you hit a ball, connecting it, and you hit it dead on, you'll get more points. And then you can add modifiers with force, giving you more points. So the more power you put into it, the more points you'll get out of it. When you see a yellow ball, all you're doing is connecting both hands together, and that makes yellow. When you see a green ball, you get to choose left or right hand, and you have to finish the rest of the greens with that same hand. That is it. That's the whole game, aside from dodging any panel that comes your way, forcing you to dance and move your body. And unlike any other game, I really felt that the more I danced with the music, because I don't dance at all in real life, the easier the game became. So instead of just, being rigid and stiff, you can see I just totally let go, and all of a sudden everything started working. So amazing, so kick-ass, such a great workout, so much fun. PowerBeatsVR is a highly intense VR fitness app featuring a truly customized workout like no other, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total.
Get ready.
Box, dodge, and squat to the rhythm of upbeat music, and choose between official songs with leaderboards and dozens of professional full-day workouts. Or train with your own music using the auto generator and enjoy endless hours of rewarding and personalized exercise. Combine these workouts in custom playlists and experience even longer training sessions. Have a blast while burning calories and get fit in no time. Only 24 people have rated it 4.25 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And what's really cool is they also offer the Custom Environments add-on pack at 30% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. With this, you get 22 built-in Skybox environments, along with the option to use your own Skybox environments, which are 360-degree panorama files for countless training surroundings. You can find a myriad of those files online or simply use Google Street View or a 360-degree camera. With this DLC, there are virtually no limits on where you're going to work out in VR, and yet they offer more DLC with Song Pack 3, and it's 30% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. And with this add-on pack, you'll immerse yourself in 12 brand new dynamic songs catering to fitness enthusiasts of all skill levels. This is the second time that it's been on sale, and I gotta say, this does sound pretty impressive. Anyone in the comments that owns it, plays it, loves it, or hates it, please let us know your experience and whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. If you love the Rock Band or Guitar Hero, I highly recommend you check out Drums Rock Premium Edition, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Over 1,200 people have rated this game 4.27 out of 5 stars, with 79% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it enough, but yes, this is sit down, pick up and play instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool. The game does keep getting all of this love and support, so much DLC going on, and speaking of which, in the premium edition you are getting the following DLC packs. Power Metal Music Pack. Specifically, you're getting Hearts on Fire by Hammerfall, King for a Day by Battle Beast, Blood of the Elves by Blind Guardian, When Angels Kill by Fifth Angel, Higher by Northtail, Twilight Force by Twilight Force. The next music pack, this is featuring The Offspring, and with this you're getting You're Gonna Go Far Kid by The Offspring, In the Meantime by Spacehog, My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, and Shine by Collective Soul. The other legendary music volume pack is Green Day, American Idiot by Green Day, Holiday by Green Day, The American Dream Is Killing Me by Green Day, I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles by The Proclaimers, and Stricken by Disturbed. But the most important add-on, I feel, is Drums Rock Undertale DLC, and of course with this pack you are getting the total Undertale theme here, beginning with the Undertale song Hopes and Dreams, as well as Megalovania. As well, you're getting the exclusive Undertale drumsticks, Undertale hands, Undertale scene, Undertale drums. But I feel the most important feature you're getting here is unlocking the exclusive extreme difficulty. And this is for all songs, like every song released for Drums Rock. So again, adding a whole nother layer of difficulty, which I like to play all music-based rhythm games on Expert as much as possible, because you're hitting note for note, and that feels, to me, the most immersive. In Ragnarock, you're going to lead your Viking ship to victory in this VR rhythm-based music game, and it's 50% off. 467 people rated it 4.27 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And what I absolutely love about this game immediately is the actual music. You're going to pound your drums to the sound of epic music from Celtic rock to Viking power metal, and set sail against your rivals in multiplayer mode. The better you do, obviously, the faster your boat goes, and you're going to see your opponents right beside you as they're trying to play perfectly and you're racing beside them. I think that is so kick-ass. And that multiplayer mode actually features up to 6 players, or simply play solo and you can race against ghost ships to add some competition. And if you're unsure if this game is for you, you can check out the Ragnarock demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. This modern take on an incredibly rare Atari arcade prototype delivers a wave shooter that is insanely addictive in Akka Arrh, and it's 60% off. 93 people have rated it 4.48 out of 5 stars, with 87% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. You're a turret desperately fighting off swarms of inbound attackers. If enemies penetrate your perimeter, you need to zoom into close range combat and beat them back, adjusting to a completely different perspective in the blink of an eye. Welcome to Jeff Minter's Akka Arrh. This is supposed to be a pure arcade bliss. You'll be thrown directly into the action where combos, high scores, and survival are your only goals. Create massive chains of enemy explosions and rack up ammo for precision shots to keep a combo and your rings or life force protected. Lose them all and it's game over. And this touts to have 50 unique levels, so you can totally start from the beginning like classic arcade action, or you can pick up from where you left off to power through to the end. And for those of you that are worried about the photosensitivity, all those flashing lights, you know, you can actually turn that off, so that's very cool on their part.
Hellsweeper.
Experience the most advanced combat mechanics to ever grace a video game in Hellsweeper VR Deluxe Edition, and it's 55% off right now. Over 600 people have rated this 4.31 out of 5 stars, with 82% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. With this deluxe edition, you are getting the Mythic Hellhound skin, the VR official soundtrack, and the digital art book. And this has got to be the most incredibly complicated, awesome combat system I've ever played in any video game whatsoever. Quite literally, the more time that you put into this game, the more options you choose and play with, the more that this becomes an extension of your body. Legit, it took me about 5 or 6 hours of playing around just to get the actual controls that I wanted for this game, and it was well worth it. I legit now feel like John Wick in VR. It's incredible. And just to speak to this, I've literally put in approximately 30 hours into this game, and I've hardly scratched the surface. I keep sticking to the same weapons and guns and stuff because I'm still ranking them up. I'm still progressing in the game. And then there's a whole slew of other weapons that totally transform the entire game experience, literally, that I've yet to unlock and touch. And then there's the actual co-op mode where you can play with a friend and then combine your weapons and powers at the same time. Every time this game's on sale, I keep trying to show everybody how this is the most incredible combat system in any game I've ever played before. It's just that there's so many options to play this game, and the actual default controls, man, I totally hated, jumping into the game right away. Had I just stuck with that, I would not have been playing with it more than for half an hour to an hour. And then they just released this Resurgence update that includes the original chick from Sariento from the first PSVR, and man, I loved that game so much so that I platinumed it, and that is one of the hardest games on PSVR 1, just saying. But it's not difficult once you become accustomed to the controls. That's all it is. That's what I'm hammering in here, guys. Man, you can actually have the John Wick experience in VR if you just play with your settings. I had to go through the entire thing, comb through every section, and completely change everything, and I'm so happy that I did. And the most recent update, Alliance, now allows up to 3 players to play together in co-op as well. This also includes a new game mode called Gauntlet with a brand new boss to conquer, as well as a brand new night and day mechanic that alters the balance of foes and rewards, along with a slew of other goodies. I am gonna have to make a video for you guys, but do grab this game at 50% off, hands down. It is so worth that. I mean, again, at least 30 hours for me right now, and I'm gonna put another 30 if not more. Featuring an intuitive third-person view designed especially for VR headsets, Human Fall Flat VR is now 50% off. Over 48,000 people have rated the flat version, including this VR version, 4.15 out of 5 stars, with 78% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% gave this 1 star. Pick a party of up to 4 humans and work together carefully to navigate each level's perilous traps and solve each collection of physics-based puzzles. Now rebuilt for VR, each controller you wield controls the respective arm of your human avatar, adding an unprecedented level of physicality. And apparently, Human Fall Flat is a hilarious, lighthearted physics platformer set in a world of floating dreamscapes. Each dream level provides a new environment to navigate with multiple routes through each level, and perfectly playful puzzles ensure exploration and ingenuity are rewarded. The VR edition of Human Fall Flat includes all levels from the game's original release, along with a wide selection of extra dreams created by some of the most talented community creators. You can also customize your human with a massive selection of outfits to add to your collection, along with head, upper, and lower body style, and even customizable colors. And for those of you that want to have both the VR and the original flat version, you can get the Human Fall Flat franchise bundle at 60% off.
Rokar has fallen. In its place, monsters and twisted spirits now thrive.
The arcade-inspired VR hack and slash Until You Fall is 50% off. Almost 1,500 people have rated it 4.1 out of 5 stars, with 76% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% gave this 1 star. And I can totally speak to this from experience because I did play it all the way through on PSVR 1, made it right to that last boss, did not beat it, but was totally in love with the game after playing it. But it was really weird to get used to at first, and this is using it on PSVR 1, the old school mechanics. You actually had to time everything. There'd be these prompts on screen on where to block and when to slice for critical strike, and arrows on screen as well as to when to dodge. But the timing, the music actually just had this beautiful rhythm going on. And I started to catch on and it was addictive, man. I mean, I really got into this game. This might be the time now to actually buy this game, especially if you've never played it before on PSVR 1. And yes, it is another roguelike where you're playing these levels over and over, but there are certain amount of stages and there is a boss at the end that I got to, didn't quite beat him. But as you progress, getting these new weapons and new upgrades, it really does change the whole game completely. So it was a lot of fun. I can recommend it. I've not played this on PSVR 2 and I was totally bummed again. No upgrade path. And I just have to mention one of our community members, the Bad Tarot, piped in and said that they loved the game on the PSVR 1, but it was really hard. And on the easiest difficulty, they could barely pass the last boss, which I can attest to this because I couldn't, to be honest with you. They go on to say that the PSVR 2 is so much better. Not only did they beat every difficulty, but they got the platinum, and it all has to do with the superior version of the PSVR 2. They go on to say that this is an amazing game and ought to be judged by its functioning counterpart on the PSVR 2. Awesome. Thanks so much to the Bad Tarot for sharing that with us because I'm totally stoked to want to try this game out yet again. And to celebrate 30 years of PlayStation, C-Smash VRS New Dimensions is currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 40% off total. Over 550 people rated it 4 out of 5 stars, with 69% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. 2 new music tracks have been added by Pizza Hotline, and a Wipeout Insider new time attack mode has also been included. Now, not only can you play crossplay, this is crossplay with flat screen players. So now everyone can get in on the C-Smash VRS action. Wow, the audience just got massive there. And I can't believe this game was originally made for the Sega Dreamcast back in like the year 2000. And to think that this was not made for VR blows me away. And to have this now reimagined, redefined in VR is so awesome. I absolutely love the ping pong, the pickleball, the badminton. So to see this game in VR, immediately I was drawn to it. However, the only weird factor is that it's in low gravity. I do wish ultimately they would include like a real gravity mode. I know the whole premise is based on this low gravity thing, but everything about it is awesome. But I did play it for hours. I did not get to play any online co-op mode, which I do think would be so much fun. And for all of you single players out there, me included, what really appealed to me is that there's so many challenges in this. Having these massive panels floating around the entire area, and then you have to use your accuracy and your skill to hit these things, just feels so satisfying. You can use your left stick to horizontally slide left and right around the area, because I will not move around my room. No way, man. Just swinging my arm is good enough. And there are some power-ups that you can acquire throughout the game that are on your racket specifically. You can play standing, seated, 1 or 2 left or right-handed. And the actual dynamic music, the original tracks are so well done. It's just got such a unique feel to the game. It's amazing. And if you're unsure whether or not the game's for you, you can get the demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Embark on an emotional, award-winning adventure in Before Your Eyes. And it's currently 50% off right now. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, this game is in your catalog, so do not buy this. By combining its innovative blink interaction mechanic with a charming world and a fully voiced acted story, Before Your Eyes is a deeply emotional and relatable journey. One about the impossible expectations we place on ourselves and the regrets we carry with us. I personally have never played the game before, but for everyone that has commented in the past and has played it, they've only said great things about this experience or game, I want to say. Soar through the skies like never before and restore balance to the universe with Sky Climb, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 30% more, making it 80% off total. 96 people rated it 4.47 out of 5 stars, with 84% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. The first-person adventure brings classic platforming to VR, featuring an intuitive arm-based locomotion mechanism that allows you to fling yourself from one cube to another in low gravity. From what I'm seeing here in the trailer, you can create your own levels, which is really cool. I'm not too sure whether or not you can actually post them online for others to compete on. There is a single-player campaign spanning 7 unique worlds, which includes a total of 65 levels, complete with 7 boss encounters and power-ups to help you along the way. As well, there is a multiplayer championship mode supporting up to 6 players in races and hoop collecting. You can also personalize your climber with a ton of customization options to help stand out from the crowd. Transport yourself to another realm and help this unique ecosystem in Paper Beast Enhanced Edition, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. 2,600 people have rated this 4.26 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And from personal experience on the PSVR 1, what I loved about this is you're thrown into this world, not given any real instruction, and then you just have to play around and figure out your environment, and that's the puzzle. It's just figuring stuff out when you're thrown into the world. And this world is really messed up, really bizarre. As you're seeing here, you can discover these breathtaking landscapes. You're supposed to bond with majestic and intelligent creatures, guide them, confront dangers, and manipulate the environment. And unlike that PSVR 1 version, in the PS5, you are getting smooth locomotion, so no more teleport with that. Again, with that 4K HDR OLED display, every game looks incredible on the PSVR 2, and this cartoon is going to do that justice for sure. This now includes detailed textures and high resolution shadows, along with light shaft effects, extremely precise sand and water physics, and it includes a sandbox mode where the terrain is more expansive with an increased number of creatures and trees that become even more stunning over time. Interesting. You can play the game without your VR headset. I don't know why you would again. And being thrown into this mysterious world, quite literally, you're supposed to help this unique ecosystem and experience an extraordinary adventure. Somewhere in the depths of big data, a new world has been born. A surreal land where life is just as rich and varied as our own Earth. And that's the beauty of it. I just was literally thrown into this game, and you have to figure out what to do with what you see in front of you. Power up your proton packs and join forces with up to 3 friends across a campaign of gripping ghostly encounters in Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord, and it's 67% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, the base game is already a part of your catalog, so do not buy this game. With over 750 people rating it 3.76 out of 5 stars, 63% gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I have to say this right away, when I've done some digging reading other people's experiences, it is meant to be played with friends. You can play by yourself, but the actual game was designed to have friends help you out and have the experience together. I think it is that social interaction with more the mission-based stuff, so purely cooperative from what I understand, with some competitive aspects. And the more that I read about this game, everyone out there is saying, yes, the game is a lot of fun with friends, but it is recommended to get it on sale. So this might be the right price for you. And as you can see right here, there is a ton of DLC already available for the game, so they are supporting it, and they have come out with more and more content, such as the Frozen Empire expansion now, including some of the old characters, which looks really cool. And again, this game is designed to have up to 3 other players across a campaign of gripping ghostly encounters. Revive teammates with a high five, supercharge your squad strength with equipment upgrades, and team up to save the city together. And they also include these other game modes, such as Heist and Seek. Chase down the bank-robbing Polterheist brothers while competing with your teammates for individual riches in this fun and frenetic game mode. Interesting. Portal meets Shadow of the Colossus in this memorable and intimate title, The Tale of Onogoro, and it's 30% off. 127 people have rated this 4.2 out of 5 stars, with 76% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. In this game, you were summoned to the sacred place of Onogoro Island in a parallel world by Haru, a shrine maiden who needs your assistance. Wielding the sacred relics, celestial weapons, travel around Onogoro Island with Haru and stop the plot of a traitor. Work together with Haru to solve sprawling puzzles and defeat giant beasts called kami that are blocking your path. A grand adventure depicting the bond between you and Haru awaits in this uniquely Japanese VR action adventure. And from everything I'm reading, the best way to summarize this game is a first-person puzzle shooter, and apparently a lot of fun at that. Essentially, you're going to work with Haru to deactivate the large puzzle-like barriers blocking your path. Teamwork is key, as some objects can only be used by one of you, and then together you will discover how to quell each of the giant kami. Save the world with Haru, a shrine maiden who quells the kami. Now, if that interests you, you can actually get the Tale of Onogoro soundtrack edition, and it's 30% off. And you can pause right now and check out who was actually involved in the soundtrack for the game if that interests you. And the next game is made by the same developers and won a lot of awards on the PSVR 1. This one's called Last Labyrinth, and it's 30% off. With 260 people rating it 4.27 out of 5 stars, 80% of the audience gave it 4 or 5 out of 5. Essentially, the whole game is a collection of escape rooms where you're sitting, you're actually locked into the chair as you're working with this girl here who can move around the room and then solve the puzzles to continue on to each room. But it did win a lot of awards on the PSVR 1, so this could be a lot of fun. I have no idea, I've never played this before. And if you want to grab the Tale of Onogoro and Last Labyrinth, you can get the VR Adventure Pack, and that bundle is 30% off. If you grew up with the Sega CD and you love the full motion video games, Not for Broadcast VR is supposed to be the best one ever made, and it's 75% off right now. 110 people have rated it 3.86 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 19% did give this 1 star. Now I have to say, I've seen this game on sale a few times now, and I only discovered what the game was about by having to watch these trailers, which I cannot show you without being copyright stricken, so I am going to put them in the description of this video. But just quickly speaking to it, I was blown away as to how mature the whole theme of the game was, and really blown away as to how it does speak to kind of current events going on. So I do highly recommend you check out the 2 trailers in my description. But it does look like it takes the full motion video games to the next level, and in their description it says it is the award-winning darkly comedic game of televised chaos that critics have called a bizarre masterpiece and quite possibly the best FMV game ever. Not for Broadcast VR takes the gameplay, story, and gripping dark comedy of the original award-winning FMV adventure and brings you closer to the news than ever before. I'd never played the original, so I have nothing to compare this to. Get a full view of the entire newsroom, interact with your equipment, and punch, slap, and grab everything that dares to get between you and the truth. Egotistical celebrities, dishonest politicians, and strange sponsors clash on the airwaves. You're in the chair to ensure that the show goes on uninterrupted. The whole concept is that you're supposed to keep the general public entertained with your editing skills and keep an eye on those ratings. Make politicians look greedy or brave. Make resistance leaders look noble or violent. And make news anchors look charming or unhinged. Who and what you decide to show on screen might change the course of history. Very cool. Tune out the chaos, load up the ads, crank up the volume, and immerse yourself in the dreams, fears, hopes, and neurosis of an entire nation, all while sitting on your floor. Again, I highly recommend you do check out those 2 trailers in my description. Humanity is a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming, and it's 50% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra member, this game is already in your catalog, so do not buy this. With over 3,000 people rating it 4.19 out of 5 stars, 79% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. This is a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming. Humanity puts the fate of all mankind in your hands. So yeah, you are literally a dog charged with commanding massive marching crowds to jump, turn, push, float, shoot, and climb their way to salvation. Guide the masses through 90 plus stages filled with obstacles, enemies, puzzles, unlockable skills, and wild boss fights in the narrative campaign. Very cool. Or you can browse a wide array of user-made levels or build your own, crafted via the super easy-to-use in-game stage creator. Talk about awesome replayability there. You know, that alone just intrigues me. And this is a flat-screen game that included a VR option mode, so you can play this on flat screen if you choose to, but I have no idea why you would. Anyone in the comment section that owns this game and plays it or has any experience whatsoever, should we pick this up at that sale price? Uncover what is gripped and twisted the Organ Quarter, and it's 30% off. 175 people rated it 4.12 out of 5 stars, with 79% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. After weeks and months of isolation in your apartment, something has infected the city. Everything has become twisted by a disease that may or may not have a motive. Explore a city that has become a wasteland and body horror nightmare full of surreal puzzles and grotesque beings, all within a self-contained story where you delve into the heart of what has twisted the city. Again, anyone in the comment section who's played Organ Quarter, please pipe in. In the past, when I've mentioned this on sale, a few of you have said this game is absolutely actually worth the game at full price. Immerse yourself in poetic storytelling as you explore new mind-bending VR mechanics in A Fisherman's Tale 2, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. 257 people rated it 4.07 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And what makes this one unique is that you solve puzzles using your own body, detaching and controlling your limbs, and finding new attachments to progress throughout the game. And from everywhere I'm reading, the first one did win all these awards. The second one was good, but it wasn't as good as the first one. Infinite Inside has you explore a serene and mysterious world, collect shards, solve intricate puzzles, and assemble keys to unlock the mysteries of a secret society. It's currently 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. With 87 people rating it 4.02 out of 5 stars, 73% gave it 4 or 5 out of 5. When the ancient artifact known as the plinth mysteriously materializes in your home, it opens a portal to a tranquil, dreamlike world filled with impossible architecture and hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. Guided by the echoes of past explorers, you will collect shards, solve three-dimensional puzzles, and assemble keys to unlock the mysteries of a secret society committed to maintaining the balance of order and chaos. Can you solve the puzzles and reveal the truth about the society, the legacy of the plinth, and ultimately your own place in this mystical world? Escape and defy 5 peaceful and soothing labyrinths filled with mysteries, and engage with a deep and captivating story embedded in the world. Tackle mind-bending geometric puzzles at your own pace with intuitive controls, and immerse yourself in rich, captivating audio and music, deepening your connection with the world. Dead Hook is an explosive mix of roguelike and shooter genre with brutal combat, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 130 people have rated it 3.91 out of 5 stars, with 71% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Dead Hook is an explosive mix of roguelike and shooter genre with brutal combat and captivating storytelling. Explore the elder planet Resurrect and take on the role of Adam Stone, a mercenary, smuggler, thief, and devoted husband. Find legendary weapons and customize your character with 100 buffs and permanent upgrades to make each run unique. Experiment with different strategies and tackle the challenges that await you in the game. Regular and elite infernals will try to stop you in the air and on the ground to defend their tombs. Bosses are uniquely designed and have multiple phases, making each encounter feel tense and exciting. You will embark on a journey to uncover the secrets of Resurrect, an AI duality, facing tough choices and unexpected twists along the way. You know, if it's anything like Doom VFR, just the slow motion combat, I see him swinging around and shooting and stuff. If it's just fun to play, you don't need an awesome storyline, and at that price, that might be totally worth it. Anyone in the comment section that does own the game, is it worth it at that sale price? Please let us know.
No matter what the cost, we're gonna kill them all!
It's been 25 years since the beginning of the war, and it's up to you to save humanity in Starship Troopers Continuum. And it's 50% off right now. Over 110 people have rated it 3.9 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 13% gave this 1 star. This game features 2 to 3 player online squad-based combat, or you can take on the bugs alone to earn weapon and trooper upgrades, perks, customization options, along with over 20 weapons to exterminate the bugs. The classic critters return and bring new friends to the fray, including boss battles against tankers and plasmas, plus a special surprise along the way. Welcome to the Continuum. You are a psychic weapon created to end the war. As the Psi Commander with advanced psychic powers, you will control troopers, rank them up, and try to keep them alive. Promote them to citizenship for big bonuses and advance your own powers faster. And just to speak to this, many popular YouTubers have already commented on this game, with Beardo Benjo saying, Starship Troopers Continuum is a chunky, punchy feeling arcade shooter that works best when played with friends. It's also pretty hilarious. You can tell that this is the team behind the excellent Zombieland Headshot Fever. And Rise to King said, a game that's not only packed with intense VR action, but also offers that classic Starship Troopers action fans love. The combat feels good, and those boss battles against giant alien bugs are an absolute blast. And Gamertag VR said that player progression is compelling, and the trooper unlocks attached to the roguelike element of the game are fun and pretty engaging. Right on. But it is that comment by Beardo Benjo that related this game to Zombieland Headshot Fever that has me absolutely wanting to check this out now. Explore a groundbreaking sci-fi world where your dialogue choices shape the narrative of the story, as you must choose whose side you're on in Journey to Foundation, and it's 40% off. Under 200 people have rated it 3.91 out of 5 stars, with 71% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. This is a story-driven adventure where you play as Ward, an intergalactic agent with unique metallic powers who must go undercover on a mission that will determine the future of humanity. Will you stay loyal to a crumbling empire or forge a new future in the Foundation? Faithfully and lovingly adapted from Isaac Asimov's groundbreaking novels and built from the ground up for VR, Journey to Foundation is a gripping narrative adventure unlike anything else you can find in VR. In this game, you're going to interact with over 90 fully voiced characters brought to life by top-tier voice casting. Befriend or double-cross people, choose who lives and dies, and help determine factions rise or fall in a branching story that reacts to your decisions. Awesome! Reach minds, influence emotions, and destroy your enemies with metallic powers. Participate in the drama through an immersive conversation system where you make gestures, look for hidden dialogue choices, and interact with objects. Very cool. Use your upgradable fusion blaster, plasma torch, hacking tool, and disguise tech to infiltrate a variety of breathtaking environments. This is available with full voice acting and text in English, Spanish, German, and French. Amazing. I still cannot get over it. Every time I read this description, whenever I watch this trailer, this game is not receiving a 4 at the bare minimum. I'm really surprised by that. Anyone in the comments section, is this game just not getting any of the love and attention that it deserves? Or is there something glitchy or buggy or just not fun about it? Please speak to this in the comments section. That'd be great. There's a fine line between dream and nightmare. This is called Very Bad Dreams, which is an intense and demanding experience that will test your nerves, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. What's really weird is that you can also get the Anniversary Edition at the exact same sale price, but it's only on sale in the east side of the world right now. That Anniversary Edition includes Dean's Dream DLC and the soundtrack mode. In Very Bad Dreams, you'll need to react instinctively to survive this scary world, which is purely dependent upon your real actions. Feel the PSVR sense and headset haptics immerse you when you've been hit by an enemy or when your heart races for dear life. The unique controls will have you run and jump using real gestures along with holding your head with both hands to keep you becoming mad. Oh, that sounds like such a cool game mechanic. It claims to have many new gameplay elements that will give you the impression of never doing the same thing. Quite simply, the best thing you can do in this game is to flee and not fall into madness. And the more I hear about this game, the more I hear very positive things about it. That said, if you're still unsure whether or not this is for you, I highly recommend you check out the Very Bad Dreams demo on the PlayStation Store right now.
Isla Nublar. It's like coming home.
Use stealth while solving puzzles to survive the horrors of Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, and it's 80% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 85% off total. Over 660 people rated it 3.8 out of 5 stars, with 66% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. The plot is set between Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and this game is fully voice acted, featuring Laura Bailey and Jeff Goldblum. And quite simply, this is a collection of episodes that were released, I think, on the Quest or PCVR before, all in one game now, enhanced for PSVR2. In the beginning, you crash land near the Jurassic World theme park and find yourself trapped in an abandoned research facility when their mission to recover valuable information goes disastrously wrong. And after getting this game during the holiday sale at the exact same sale price, I was really surprised at how good the game looked, sounded, felt, and generally played all together. I was also surprised with how long the game took to complete, which was around 8 hours. I do think if you're a fan of the franchise, you would totally want to experience this stealth survival game, especially on the PSVR 2, but the plot is nothing complicated and has its own unique flavor as a side story. Even though I do think the game would have been way scarier with today's tech if it looked more realistic like Resident Evil, fortunately, all cartoons really do look awesome on that 4K HDR OLED display. And just for a couple bucks, man, I can easily recommend this, but not at the regular price. To be honest, and to manage expectations, the puzzles were extremely easy, and I can't really call them puzzles. Only once I was truly stumped for a while, and that stood out to me. Also, I highly recommend that you play this in room scale, and physically crouch, crawl, and hide under desks if you can, as it absolutely adds to the fear and immersion of this game.
Let's go movement first. Orientation, hands. CS, that is room scale when you're turning with your body. But you can move and turn looking, but keeping your left arm straight the entire time. When I move it with my head, that's what turns my body. And how smooth that is to move. Amazing. All games.
Even though the game doesn't look really scary, it can get pretty tense if you play this way. And this game is all about sneaking and surviving. So yeah, I have to push you guys to play this way if you can.
Nice. I escaped intact.
Welcome to the darkness world. Don't be afraid, my friend.
Shoot at everything that moves in Darkness Roller Coaster PSVR 2 Remastered Edition, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. 66 people have rated it 3.89 out of 5 stars, with 71% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 21% gave this 1 or 2 stars. So I never played the original on PSVR 1, but this is completely redesigned for the PSVR 2 with improved enemy graphics and behavior, more action, more fun, and more speed. Try to beat the global high scores by activating your different powers, such as slowing down time, activating your special vision, or using your shields. But be careful of the traps and obstacles that you'll have to avoid at all times in your cart. What really threw me off is seeing a build your own coaster feature here, where it looks like you can create your own map essentially. That looks awesome. Anyone in the comments section that owns the game, please pipe in and let us know, can we build our own maps or our own courses and play through them, and whether or not we should get that at that sale price. The original football game for PSVR 1 is completely remastered in 2MD VR Football Unleashed All-Star, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 50% off total. 71 people have rated it 3.69 out of 5 stars, with 65% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 21% gave it 1 or 2 stars. In this game, you're gonna throw like a pro with realistic motion controls and a seated, standing, or room scale experience. Oh yeah! Draw unique offensive plays in VR, exciting presentation with a 7-round heat and rapid fire bonus rounds. You can play 2-minute drills or 20, 40, or 60 60-minute full-length exhibition games featuring 56 customizable teams across 8 leagues, including college, indoor, professional, and fantasy player types. Customize your controls to fit your throwing style. Dynamically become the ball carrier and even catch the ball yourself with manual receiver control. How cool is that? Variable weather conditions including sun, rain, wind, and snow, and I totally hope that actually affects gameplay. I'm not expecting it, but still, that would be really cool. And then over 75 immersive stadiums filled with thousands of screaming fans. It's also featuring challenging AI, worldwide leaderboards, and a virtual trophy case. Kayak VR Mirage is a jaw-dropping and exhilarating journey through beautiful locations, and it's currently 30% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, do not buy this game as it's already a part of your catalog. Over 2,600 people rated it 3.67 out of 5 stars, with 59% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally speak to this because I do think it looked amazing, but if you were expecting some sort of game, it really isn't. I feel like, you're going through these beautiful locations on a kayak and it looks photorealistic, legit. I was quite blown away, to be honest with you, how everything just looked. What I wasn't anticipating is the movement in the water bobbing up and down. I'm a VR veteran, but I did get a subtle bit of motion sickness, not actually wanting to puke or anything like that, but yes, definitely thrown off within half hour of playing. But the game totally offers comfort settings, so you don't have to worry about that. I just think I left it at the utmost realistic that I possibly could. But I did go through each location, and again, they were beautiful, but after going through once, I was kind of like, But just recently, they did release the new patch that includes the full multiplayer mode with the full avatar. They're not these cartoony looking characters. They look like real people, so that's really cool that they spent the time and actually made that look amazing. This whole time, I thought the multiplayer mode was racing against somebody at all times, but no, it looks like you can casually just hang out with each other as you're going through the courses, so really cool that they did this. Awesome. And they do let you know you can optionally connect your controllers to a stick to give it more of an immersive feel. So when I go to play this again, I'm going to try and do that if I can. Even though the Whitewater DLC Soka Valley is not currently on sale, you can get Kayak VR Mirage plus Soka Valley game bundle, and it's 25% off right now. Explore the beautiful Soka Valley in Slovenia, known for its iconic green water, mountain vistas, and lush nature. Take on a new, thrilling challenge by paddling down Whitewater Rapids, or explore the nature of this serene valley at your own pace. If you're craving more of that crazy kayak experience, then you need to also check out Whitewater VR Extreme Kayaking Adventure, and it's 25% off. 126 people rated it 3.61 out of 5 stars, with 65% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 19% gave this 1 star. With stunning graphics, realistic physics, and heart-pumping action, you'll race against the clock as you navigate through wild waters filled with obstacles and surprises. Experience the rush of whitewater kayaking in breathtaking VR as you navigate through stunning scenery and dodge obstacles along the way while trying to become the best among your friends with the online leaderboards. This is all about racing against the clock and conquering the unique challenges within each environment. Interesting. Anyone in the comment section that owns this, played it, loved it, hate it, whatever, please let us know whether or not we should get this game at that sale price. Embark on a perilous journey across the plague-ridden realm of Meloria in the Wizards Dark Times Brotherhood, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Over 150 people rated it 3.53 out of 5 stars, with 58% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% gave this 1 star. In this game, you're going to forget about button combinations as you discover and master 11 individually designed spells of various uses and effects. Command the arcane powers with nothing but hand gestures, as a true wizard does. This game features 3-player co-op where you forge a brotherhood with up to 2 fellow wizards and use your class-specific skills, Fire, Frost, and Storm, to battle new types of enemies and variants, plus explore the levels with new challenges. This is a remastered single-player adventure where a mysterious, dark plague has fallen on the realm of Meloria, twisting the inhabitants into beings of hatred and madness. And the last time this game was on sale, Corey mentions here that the game is fun, but the gesturing for spells is a little janky. The graphics aren't very good, and the game shuts down upon the first startup. So there's definitely something off here. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you owned it, loved it, or hate it, please speak to this in the comments. Let us know whether or not we should grab this at that awesome sale price. Reworked and refined in every aspect of the original, Stride Fates has you run, battle, and solve puzzles in pure parkour action. And it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 600 people have rated it 3.44 out of 5 stars, with 57% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 22% gave this 1 star. The premise of the story is that you're raised in the slums of a dystopian Arken city. To survive and climb the ladder in elite police forces of Sky Chase, you'll have to deal with power shifts and gangs, dirty family feuds, corporate secrets, forbidden tech, and much more. Your fate is bound with other motley characters in this story. Will you accept your destiny or fight against it? Interesting, so I didn't realize you were actually part of a police squad, tasked with these missions about taking out gang members and stuff. On the PlayStation Store description, it does tout that you feel like a parkour spec ops officer. You're going to climb buildings, vault through windows, and slide down cables with lightning speed. Explore open locations under the watch of snipers and drones. Feel the thrill of close quarters combats with tactical shooter gameplay. Use your gadgets and hacking skills to outwit thugs and corporates. Sounds super cool. From dirty slums to affluent skyscrapers, you will visit many places to enjoy the view and challenge your reflexes in action-packed gameplay. And even when the game was actually released, it did get a massive patch that totally revolutionized the graphics from what I understand, not just a little patch. So these guys as well were working on upping the game and delivering on their promise. I'm not too sure whether or not the game is actually fun to play now. From all the reviews I read at launch, people were saying there was not enough parkour, and that blows me away based on what I'm seeing in all the trailers here. But yeah, anyone who's played the game recently, if you can let us know in the comment section your experience, that would be great. Should we pick this up at the sale price? Prepare to enter the mesmerizing world of Corridor VR, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Only 15 people have rated this 3.67 out of 5 stars, with 67% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% gave this 1 star. In this captivating journey, you'll explore a series of interconnected corridors that will test your wits and agility, each with its unique style and challenges. What makes Corridor VR truly stand out is the ability to shift between the normal world and the mysterious mirror world. This dual dimension feature allows you to navigate the corridors and unlock hidden pathways by leveraging the differences between the two realms. Anyone in the comments that has played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know in the comment section whether we should pick this up at that sale price. I'm genuinely curious. I have no idea what this game really does involve. The Utility Room is a VR journey that takes you behind the scenes of the universe. It's currently 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. 113 people have rated this 3.79 out of 5 stars, with 67% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 13% gave this 1 star. And because I have not played this game yet and have not looked into it other than what's on the PlayStation Store description, it simply says, "Beyond a door lies a barren landscape inhabited by giant rocky heads. Here, the maintenance and heavy lifting required keeps existence stable and temporal. You are a tourist. Don't do anything foolish." And that is it, literally. So it's supposed to take you behind the scenes of the universe, but I'm assuming this is a straight up puzzle game with a twist of horror inside here. Anyone in the comment section that owns this game, has played it, can you please let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price? Among Us VR is a hugely popular party game of teamwork and betrayal, and it's currently 30% off. Over 1,200 people have rated this 3.59 out of 5 stars, with 62% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 25% gave this 1 star. This is heavily dependent upon the social interaction, where you're going to be tasked, quite literally, with doing tasks at the same time as everybody else, but you never know who's chosen as the imposter. That might be you actually one round, and the idea here is that you're supposed to do your tasks like everyone else, but at the same time deduce who is the murderer going around murdering everybody. That is the very quick gist of it. There's a lot more actual mechanics to the game that I can't speak to because I've never played it, but you can totally check online. There's so many people that have covered this, and this was originally a mobile game that got extremely popular, and then they reinvented this in VR, and from what I'm seeing, this is the way to play Among Us for sure. And with this game, there is a ton of DLC on sale, and we're going to go over this really quick. This is the Accidental Favorites Hat Pack, and it's 20% off right now. In this, you are getting Third Eye, Mo Rock, Go Hard Beans, Peeled, apparently potassium is important, commonly found in trash cans, Magical Corn, oh you fancy, a pretty darn good option to embrace your uniqueness and magicalness. Note to self, because who can keep track? This is highly requested, highly coveted, not so highly efficient placement. You can get the Dress to Kill skin pack and it's 20% off, and with that pack you'll get 3 unique skins. I'll Fix It, Suit It Up, and Donut Kill My Vibe. Next we have the Combo Pack Squeaky Clean, and it's 20% off. In this you are getting Mop Top, putting the mullet to shame. The Last Wipe, you never want to be without it. Gloves, Clean Bean, burn rubber with these heavy duty dishwashers. Immaculate Inspection, spotless, pristine, it's a clean bean. Chocolate Scoop, it's whatever you want it to be. You're getting the Suds Mix Scrubs, Employee of the Month, Beard of the Century. All items can be worn separately or pair your new gloves and hats together to create the ultimate aseptic aesthetic. Glove Pack Catch D's Hands is 20% off. In this, you are getting Foam Run. Be the ultimate fan in the stands and cheer for the home team with a permanent giant pointer finger. Get good gloves. Smooth Operator. Sleek, elegant, and smooth as a baby bean. Crew Favorites Hat Pack is 20% off. And with these 5 hats, you'll be getting Bat Bean. Cutie is what it says. Greatest headset. Stylish, but won't cancel out any screams. Head Slug. They've seen these things. Plagued. Spooky. Mini Crewmate, cause 2 are better than 1. Fungal Fresh Picks Hat Pack is 20% off. And with this, you are getting Venus Flytrap, Cap, Dish Jockey, Shady Business, Mo Rock. Polis Point Picks Hat Pack is 20% off. And with this, you are getting Pengies. Breathe Good. Captivating, just like Grandma used to make. Royal Icing, Burberry. Everything is brand new to keep you looking fresh in both Polis Point and Skell 2. Join the battlefield with up to 64 players online in D-Day Enhanced Edition, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 65% off total. Almost 1,300 people have rated this 3.59 out of 5 stars, with 62% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 24% gave this 1 star. So this was a PSVR 1 game, and it did get the upgrade treatment with all new maps, new rewards, enhanced visuals, enhanced mechanics such as manual reload, the whole thing. And I'm assuming the actual controls are far better with the precise PSVR 2 tracking. And there are 5 classes with a progression system, allowing you to enhance each class with special abilities and perks, as well as weapon customization with scopes and all that other stuff. The 64-player online matches include Team Deathmatch, Attack and Defend, and Free For All. Awesome! I wonder if that's Battle Royale or just classic straight up deathmatch. Anyone in the comments section, if you can speak to that, that'd be awesome, let us know. Again, not only with the improved mechanics of manual reloading of all weapons, eye tracking allows you to call out enemies or objectives just by looking at their location, and the adaptive triggers and vibration are used to give weapons a more immersive feel when shooting. Right on. And if that sounds good, you may want to get the special edition instead, because it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 45% off total. And that special edition delivers the base game along with the infamous Sharkmouth skin, and that skin can be applied to almost all weapons in the game. This edition also comes with the Silver Special skin, which is available independently on the store. The Officer Pack is also included, which gives you exclusive access to the General and the Lieutenant characters. Very cool. Or better yet, you can get the Gold Edition, and that's 35% off as well. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 45% off total. And with that Gold Edition, it delivers the base game along with 2 exclusive weapon skins, the Gold and Ivory skin, and the infamous Sharkmouth skin. As well, it does come with the Gold and Silver skins, which are also available independently on the store. With this edition, you do get 2 exclusive character skins for the Recon Soldiers, the German and British Commando. The Officer Pack is also included, which gives you access to that General and the Lieutenant characters, and each character comes with 2 additional skins only available in this Gold Edition. Again, I did love the battlefield on the flat screen for years, and now to see something like this in VR, you are able to use other vehicles, tanks, and jeeps. I'm not seeing any airplanes. Just being able to run around this massive island with 64 people does sound like a blast. I do hope it's fun, because I do love the online first-person shooters.
No, get out! Get out!
And the next narrative adventure is called The Last Worker, and it's 75% off right now. Over 110 people have rated this 3.5 out of 5 stars, with 55% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, and as you can see, the rest is completely mixed there. The Last Worker is an immersive narrative adventure centered around a lone worker's last stand in an increasingly automated world. This is a unique blend of work simulation and stealth strategic gameplay. You play as Kurt and you work for the world's largest retailer and is forced to choose between capitalism or activism. Having dedicated his life to work, Kurt's loyalty is put to the test when a group of activists ask him to dismantle Jungle from the inside. Aboard his corporate-issued flying jungle pod and armed with his multi-purpose jungle gun, Kurt dispatches countless products from a fulfillment center the size of the sunken city of Manhattan. This delivers an emotional, thought-provoking, and inspiring story with rich characters performed by an all-star cast. And this game is all about player choice with multiple endings decided by an epic moral dilemma. Very cool. Let yourself be transported by an experience that goes beyond the ordinary, where dreams and nightmares meet to help you rediscover who you truly are in Unhidden, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. With only 37 people rating this, it scored 3.89 out of 5 stars, with 73% giving this 4 or 5, but 25% gave this 1 or 2 stars. Unhidden offers a one-of-a-kind experience in the world of video games, taking you on an extraordinary journey through dreams and nightmares that will lead you to discover more about yourself. Your actions will transport you to the magnificent or hellish worlds where emotions you thought were lost will resurface intense and vivid. Interesting. An engaging original soundtrack composed by maestro Mario Rosini will accompany you through majestic and extraordinary environments. Unhidden will reveal the deepest aspects of your soul, verifying your choices and making experience sensations beyond traditional gameplay. You will experience a dreamlike world where music, landscapes, and your actions intertwine to bring you back to the core of human emotions, such as joy, fear, and wonder. This interactive journey will immerse you in a unique experience designed by experts in art therapy, chromotherapy, music therapy, and psychology to engage you on a level never seen before. Oh, that sounds awesome. Live the dream. Live Unhidden. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Anybody in the comments section, if you own this, loved it, hated it, whatever, please let us know whether or not we should grab this game at that sale price. Do you hate spiders? Then you might want to check out Kill It With Fire VR, cause it's 75% off. Almost 500 people have rated this 3.58 out of 5 stars, with 61% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 24% gave this 1 star. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, you can totally try the game for a full hour to see whether or not this game is for you. The game claims to feature tons of unique weapons and equipment with 8 different spider species, realistic fire simulation system, there are dozens of optional objectives, don't know how that works, with loads of hidden upgrades, and then you can battle in the Arachno Gauntlet. Again, I wish I knew what that was. And then it claims to have a secret ending. From everything I'm seeing here in the trailer, it just looks like a classic roguelike pick up and play arcade action style game, which, you know, I've always enjoyed typically. But I don't think this game will scare me. Anybody in the comments section, if you can please speak up whether or not we should get this game at the sale price, that would be awesome.
Oh dear. Looks like someone messed up.
Prison Boss VR is a crafting and simulation game with one simple goal: make cash. And you can save a ton of yours because this game's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. And I do have to say, I played it on PSVR 1, I didn't beat it. However, there is no upgrade path for this game. So if you do own it and you do want to play it on PSVR 2, this might be the time. Locked up in a prison cell, you're going to produce and sell contraband items to buy your freedom back. But don't get caught by the guards. During the night, you're going to roll cigarettes, fill up bottles, write erotic letters, and more. Be sure to stash your goods well, or they will be snatched by the guards. And during the day, cash in your illegal handiwork by selling it to your fellow inmates. You can also complete special jobs to earn reputation along with useful rewards. And the key features of the game is that you're going to unlock 11 craftable items, complete 80 jobs across 4 different prisons. I think I only played the one, to be honest with you. You can play story, arcade, or boss mode. You can customize your cell by adding new furniture, adapt your cell to the size of your VR play space, which I totally will. I love room scale VR and I'm absolutely excited to try this. And for those of you that are unsure, you can actually get the Prison Boss VR demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Fantavision was originally released on the PlayStation 2 and is back on the PSVR 2, and it's currently 50% off right now. Over 120 people have rated this 3.29 out of 5 stars with a completely mixed bag of reviews here. But that said, just speaking from experience, I did buy the game during launch. It may have been patched since. When I popped it in, I wasn't initially impressed with the colors and the vibrance. There's just something about the fireworks that seemed a bit really fuzzy, and even the backgrounds themselves, to me, the buildings and whatnot, didn't appear this super clarity that I'm used to after playing like Horizon and Pavlov and stuff. But either way, the game is a puzzle-based game like a Columns or something like that, where you're making these connections to the same colored fireworks that you're hitting there and you're exploding them. So I can see the addictive factor here if you're into those types of games. But because I was so excited with the PSVR2 and then I dropped to this, I felt like, no, I'm going back to Pavlov like ASAP. So I didn't give this more than probably an hour and a half. But I do know there are a lot of people back in the day that did enjoy the actual experience. So this would be the way to play it in full VR, I would think. So yeah, sorry, I cannot personally recommend this game just from personal experience. Gorilla Attack and Bridge the Gap are now bundled together and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Rampage through a sprawling cityscape, smashing buildings, tossing cars, and leaving a trail of destruction in Gorilla Attack. Only 62 people have rated this 3.23 out of 5 stars, with 43% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but a quarter of them gave this 1 star. Now, I cannot speak to this game from personal experience, but I can say I highly recommend you guys check out Without Parole's quick 2 or 3 minute review on the game, and I'm going to leave a link in the description because I do think he does an excellent job and totally informs you of what you should expect if you decide to get this game at that sale price. Introducing yet another take on the Lemmings formula with modern VR mechanics, this is Bridge the Gap. Only 14 people have rated this, giving it 4 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And the whole premise of the game is that you're a friendly spirit entity tasked with helping these little monkeys find their way through the mysterious Bricklands. You must create safe passages between portals as you lead the monkeys to safety, helping them overcome all environmental obstacles along the way. And this touts to have 5 unique settings with 80 varied levels, with more coming soon. And even though the game's been out for just a little while, I've only heard great things about it so far. Anyone in the comments section, if you own it, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Fight for your life and try to escape in this arcade on-rail shooter, Train Chase, and it's currently 75% off right now. Only 33 people rated it 3.39 out of 5 stars, with just over half of them giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but over a quarter of them gave it 1 or 2 stars. And quite simply, you are being chased by the enemy and have to escape. Fight their drones, turrets, and vehicles on a train through several levels and several waves. You can choose between the story or the wave mode. In story mode, you have to go through multiple level after another and defeat the enemy bosses in each level. Interesting, so there's bosses. In the wave mode, you encounter waves of enemies, and during a pause, you can buy new weapons. The key here is to use different types of weapons to deal as much damage with the least amount of bullets. You can pick between a pistol, a shotgun, a machine gun, and a grenade launcher. But don't forget to dodge their attacks during bullet time. The bullet time activates as soon as an enemy bullet gets close. Then you have the opportunity to move around if you want. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, Horror Adventure Zombie Edition is 80% off. 4,000 people have rated this 3.1 out of 5 stars, with 36% giving this 5 out of 5, but 34% gave this 1 star. And I do not have an official trailer, but I am showing you somebody else's video right now so you can get a sense of what you're seeing. I'm including the link in the description to their actual channel there. The official PlayStation Store description says it's a zombie shooter set in a post-apocalyptic world. There's been an outbreak of a mysterious virus killing people and transforming them into zombies. As one of the few people left on the planet, experience what it's like to live in the city of the undead. Hunt in the world and find ways to survive. Kill the virus-infected people and protect your family. So the game does feature a single-player story with a full-fledged narrative campaign to give you a taste of what it's like to live in the post-apocalyptic world. It says that it includes heavy, physics-based, realistic interactions, including support for weapon pickup and reload. Support for more than 15 plus unlockable weapons throughout the story. And what's really cool, they do offer an actual demo for the game. So yeah, if you're unsure whether or not this game is for you, you can get the Horror Adventure Zombie Edition demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Horror Adventure VR is an interactive experience set in a procedurally generated haunted house, and it's 80% off. Over 5,000 people have rated this since the PSVR 1 days and scored it 2.84 out of 5 stars, with 43% giving this 1 star, but 34% gave this 5 stars. So in doing some digging, this obviously is a budget title, and it claims to have procedural generation, but from multiple reviews, it changes how you walk through the house, but the rooms themselves are the same, if that makes sense. They don't actually change the rooms up, so you do see the same shit all the time, essentially. Even though it does claim to have jump scares as its warning, yeah, I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it being that scary. You know, it's decent from what I understand. Decent. I mean, I I'm not expecting anything, but if it's okay, even for half an hour, that might be worth it. But if you're unsure what's really cool, these guys are offering a Horror Adventure PSVR2 demo for free. So yes, I highly encourage you check that out. Normally, I feel like the developers only provide demos if they're confident people want to play their game. So good on them for doing that. So yeah, check that out. Successfully land on drop pads with precision in Dropship Commander. And it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 65% off total. Only 42 people have rated this 3.05 out of 5 stars, with 48% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 36% gave this 1 star. Land your dropship on settlements across the galaxy to bring much needed supplies to colonists and miners. Your job is to navigate through some of the harshest environments and successfully land on drop pads spread throughout each location. Each landing earns you points, with the more difficult the drop, the more points you earn to take your spot on the leaderboards. You'll start off with some easy landings on the moon and then progress through the caves of Mars, the meteor zone of Mercury, the volcanic wasteland of Venus, the ice caves of Pluto, and then onto the hazardous asteroid cluster GC12. Very cool. Anyone out there who owns it, loves it, hates it, plays it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this game at that stellar sale price. Across the Valley is a friendly farm simulator with the fantastic hand-drawn art style, and it's currently 70% off right now. 89 people have rated it 2.98 out of 5 stars, with 43% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 45% gave this 1 or 2 stars. On your farm, there's something to do every day. Give your plants and animals plenty of love and care. They'll reward you with a bountiful harvest, and use those profits to expand your farm. The features listed on the actual game speak to no motion sickness with the action point location system. No artificial movement is done. Even though that seems like a good bullet point, what it's saying is that you're going node to node teleportation based. You're actually snapping to specific stations of play, from what I understand. Each action point station is designed carefully to have everything you need within the reach of your hands. Again, it's promoting the whole thing being easily accessible, everything right where you are. You don't have to get up and move, none of that stuff. And then it says no button learning, where you do everything with your own hands, and that does feel natural. That is the way VR should be, truly. Literally, you can grab a shovel like you would in real life, dig a hole, sow your seed, all that stuff. With 36 quests or tasks that guide you from the basics of seeding to going on a truffle hunt with your pigs, you have infinite orders to keep you busy, even after the main game. And they're also talking about how you can upgrade your house and make it look nice and cozy. Interesting. But anybody, again, if you're into farm simulators, you may be able to speak to this in the comment section. Let other people who are into that genre know whether or not this game will speak to them. It's time to serve the hungry and thirsty zombies while you defend yourself in Zombie Bar Simulator VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. 36 people have rated it 3.64 out of 5 stars, with 61% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% gave this 1 star. And it is quite literally what you're seeing on screen. It is another cooking type simulator based game. You have to master many recipes and quickly figure out where various ingredients are located. Zombies don't tolerate mistakes or long waits, and don't be surprised if a rowdy customer attacks you, but you'll have many different weapons behind the bar that'll effectively allow you to subdue them, and you must be prepared to serve those dishes according to their desires. Burgers with fresh brains, liver, or still beating hearts, fries with frozen cut off fingers and bloody ketchup, crunchy and squeaky reanimated dead rats. Good and fast is the key to making as much money as possible, which allow you to go wild in the environment store to give your bar a unique character. So that's really all I can say about the game. Never played it before. Anyone again in the comments section, please speak up. Let us know what your thoughts and feelings are on it, whether or not we should get it at the sale price.
Learn how to mix the world's most popular cocktails.
Master the art of bartending in Bartender VR Simulator, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Over 400 people have rated this 2.37 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving this 1 star, but just under a quarter of them gave this 5 stars. The actual premise does appeal to me. It does say, working in 4 unique and professionally equipped virtual bars, you will experience the thrill of the art of bartending under the watchful eye of a 6-time bartending world champion. Begin your journey in a music club and learn how to make 4 basic drinks. Prove yourself and win the opportunity to train and work in the next location. Master more and more demanding drinks as you progress to new, unique bars. Earn the course completion certificate and take up a whole new challenge in the pro mode. Various bartending techniques, item destruction, juggling with bartending equipment, and drink ingredients. We serve it all in a super realistic quality. Who will earn the most money in each bar? Who will make a perfect drink in the shortest time? Who will earn the biggest tip for a single drink by mesmerizing the customers by using the flare technique? Launch yourself into orbit with Space Explorer PSVR2, and it's 80% off! Over 1,900 people have rated this since the PSVR 1 days, 2.68 out of 5 stars, with 38% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but half the audience gave this 1 star. I do wonder if it's the premise of the game, you know, if it's more of the experience than it's an actual game, and many people were turned off, but people that want the experience are happy with it. I'm unsure. Again, anyone in the comments section want to speak to that, that'd be great. The official description says, experience how spacecrafts lift off into orbit. Join the crew on space shuttle missions and assist in the servicing of the space station. Take a trip into orbit and experience the Earth from above. Encounter life on board the space station. Learn how to move in zero gravity and participate in spacewalks. Ooh, that'd be creepy. Take control of the shuttle in an accurate physics-based landing simulation. Space Explorer is a game as well as an educational simulation. Experience the thrill of viewing the Earth in orbit, which is unparalleled in virtual reality. Now, it claims that it features high-quality models and textures with smooth VR experience without any motion sickness. As well, it says scientifically accurate simulations and gameplay with multi-language support. And if you're unsure whether or not that appeals to you, you can check out the Space Explorer VR demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Enjoy a vivid, interactive fiction about an artist finishing her final piece of her gallery submission in Behind the Frame, the Finest Scenery VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 40 people have rated it 2.5 out of 5 stars, with most giving it 1, 2, or 3 out of 5. That said, I don't think this is a game. The actual PlayStation Store description goes on to say that now available in VR, you'll be able to paint brushstrokes and fully realize 3D space. A relaxing, eloquent experience that can be played at any pace. Become immersed in a panoramic world filled with resplendent colors, beautiful hand-animated visuals, and a smooth, easy listening soundtrack. As a passionate artist, seek the missing colors that will bring your paintings to life, all while remembering to take the occasional coffee and breakfast breaks that keep you going. There's more than meets the eye, for every painting has a story to tell. Sounds like Transformers. Dive into and explore panoramic VR worlds. Experience an evocative story through the eyes of a passionate artist. There's really not much else to say other than the PlayStation Store description and what you're seeing on the trailer here. Anyone in the comments section, if you own the game, app, experience, whatever you call this, please let us know what your thoughts are on whether or not we should get this on sale. I have no idea. Brain Beats is another music VR game, but it's designed by a team of psychophysical wellness professionals, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 43 people have rated it 2.33 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving this 1 or 2, but 16% gave this 5 stars. The game does include 27 music tracks, and there are 3 different modes here. One completely calm, super chill, low stress, one being moderate, and then one that's more adrenaline, high end. And all you're doing is you're swinging with your sword to hit those blocks and punching with your fists. I don't see any dodging whatsoever going on. I think you're just swinging and punching those blocks and balls there. Other than that, that's all I know about the game, but it's not getting the greatest rating right now. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game and played it, please let us know what you think and whether or not we should get this at the sale price. Unwind as you search for hidden treasures at your own pace in Unhidden Cozy Hidden Object, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Only 15 people have rated it 3.93 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving this 5 out of 5, and the rest completely mixed there. Because I couldn't find anything about this game or even a trailer, my first thought was to check out Cusman's YouTube channel, and I found the gameplay footage shown right here. I've included a link to this video in my description and highly recommend you check it out, along with the detailed written description about Cusman's first impressions with it. That said, I highly recommend you read all of the descriptions of Cusman's PSVR2 videos, as they are very detailed and super informative. And I just want to say thanks so much to Cusman for allowing me to share this gameplay footage with everyone, and your ongoing support for the PSVR2 community. Awesome. As a rookie guardian angel, your job is to help a girl achieve her earnest dream in Idolmaker VR, and it's 15% off right now. Only 12 people have rated this 2.08 out of 5 stars, with 3 people giving it 5, 1 gave it 2, and 8 people gave this 1 star. As her guardian angel, you have 5 years to realize her dream before the girl becomes an adult. Develop her idol dreams through various experiences and training methods. All sorts of futures await depending on your guidance. Take part in regular auditions to show the judges all the talents you've honed thus far. It's good to achieve these big dreams, but it's also important to help raise a healthy adult. Check and utilize her condition stats to balance training and a healthy lifestyle, while creating a systematic development plan for the girl's future. Really weird. That totally sounds different than anything I've seen before, but I can't help but notice from this gameplay that it looks a lot like point and click with a laser pointer instead of VR interactions. But again, I've never played this before, so I can't say anything from personal experience. Anyone in the comment section, if you own it, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Bocce VR Simulator is quite literally what it says, and it's 33% off. Only 27 people have rated this 1.93 out of 5 stars, with 75% of the audience giving this 1 or 2 stars. I personally love playing Bocce, so if this does anything like it does, then I'm sold. The game claims to bring the classic game of Bocce to life in a stunning virtual reality experience. Known and loved by many for its simplicity and fun, Bocce is perfect for players of all ages. The game is extremely easy. You just start off, one person throws this Polino ball, it's a tiny white ball, and then wherever that is, you're trying to throw your balls as close as possible to that Polino. And then at the end of the round, the closer balls get the most points, essentially. And when you're playing against with somebody, you can actually knock their ball away from the Polino. So even though your opponent could have thrown an awesome shot to begin with, you can totally knock them out of the area where they don't score anything, and then you take their spot. Very cool. It does include an obstacle mode for added challenge. I'd love to see what that looks like. It does claim to have advanced AI for realistic competition, customizable game point targets, and stunning graphics with immersive gameplay. Whether or not this game actually does what Bocce does, I have no idea. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you own the game, please let us know. Does this actually play like Bocce in real life? Solve a mystery of the famous detective in this VR escape room called The Murder of Sherlock Holmes. And it's 65% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 70% off total. Only 35 people have rated it, 1.77 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving this 1 or 2 stars. But 17% did give this 4 or 5. What happened here, man? I gotta check this out sooner than later, because I am genuinely interested in the whole premise of the actual game and how you can interact with everything. And that's what makes VR uniquely special. So to see that rating and to know this game offers us, I want to know what's going on. Is it glitchy? Does it not work? Are the controls janky? Anyone in the comment section, if you can speak to this game, please let us know. Why did the score so low? What's going on? Is it too short of a game? I'm genuinely curious. And the title that says it all, Grand Rush Highway Car Traffic Racing Simulator VR, is currently 40% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 560 people rated it 1.52 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving this 1 star and the rest completely mixed there. And I did hear about this game before it went on sale. Without Parole did a quick review on it, and I do encourage you to check that out, because if you want to know about the game, Brian totally tells you completely exactly what to expect, unless the game's been heavily patched since. I'm not expecting that much, to be honest with you. But yes, do check out that review, because he covers it thoroughly for sure. And I totally put the link in the description for quick reference there. And the last bit of DLC that's on sale is featured for Epic Roller Coasters. You can get the base game for free, essentially, and then buy the add-on levels afterwards. The first one they're offering is Epic Roller Coasters Amusement Park Bundle. It's 25% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 35% off total. And with that, you're getting 7 roller coaster maps, which include Twilight, Haunted Castle, North Pole, Oasis, Great Canyon, Tijuana Volcano, and Space Station. As well, you're getting 7 roller coaster carts and 7 different weapons with this add-on. The next add-on pack is Epic Roller Coasters Real Places, and that one's 25% off as well. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 35% off total. With that, you're getting 6 roller coaster maps, such as Hidden Paradise, Stonehenge, Yellowstone, Bled, Kalamutu, and Antarctica. And you're also getting 6 roller coaster carts in this add-on as well, but I'm not seeing individual weapons for this one. But the next DLC does have some weapons included in the Super Roller Coasters bundle, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 35% off total. This one, you're getting 7 roller coaster maps, including Snowland, Halloween, Wyvern Siege, Lost Forest, Dreadblood, Neon Rider, and Armageddon. You're also getting 7 roller coaster carts and 7 unique weapons with this add-on. Awesome. And the last one they're offering is the Fantasy Thrills bundle, and that's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 35% off total. And with that, you are getting 4 roller coaster maps: Lady Tough Adventure, Epic Dreamland, The Red Hood Girl, and Elves Workshop of Wonders. And they are also including 4 roller coaster carts in the game. And that is all of the games and DLC going on during the Spring Easter sale up until Wednesday, April 9th. If you guys like the video or any of the sales videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.
PlayStation